Alright, so I'm gonna try to scouts bit, which is 20 population. 20 population on my loom up with doing scouts. Might just lower the speed. Can't. I like to do builds on fast speed usually, but I'll do normal speed. And I should probably continue my chat bridge, shouldn't I? Right, there we go. So you can see I'm just doing it unexplored, obviously to make things a lot easier, but that's just because talking through a build and doing it at the same time does make things a little bit more difficult. So we're basically just going to do our berries first. So we do a mill on our berries very early on in order to get extra food and to cook up faster. And the reason this build is limited to only some civilizations is because you need to have really good eco bonus in order to basically for it to be worth it, and also to be able to click up to feudal age as well. You need a really good build. So if I can actually find my sheep even while just explored. Unfortunately, I'm not that incompetent with my scouting, so I can. Well, it's not even scouting. Look at the map. Okay, so we're getting 6 bills onto onto sheep, and I'm just going to send 1 bill onto stragglers. And this bill is to get enough wood for a lumber camp a bit later on. So we do need this 1 bill here. That's quite important. But after that, we're just going to send some bills to the mill. One disadvantage, of course, if you're doing this in a 1v1 or something, someone could potentially come and lamb your stragglers, so I prefer doing this build like for team games, but you could also do it in 1v1s if you wanted. It's just slightly more risky because we're going up without loom. I do get up with, since you're going 20 population, you do get up pretty fast, so it's not as big a deal to have no loom, but of course, like, you don't want to send a villager on its own ages away without loom, because you could get caught out by a scout or a wolf or something. Okay, so we're going to have 2 villagers on the berries there, and then we're going to send a villager off to get lure on the boars. I might go for that one actually, since it's slightly further away I think, and slightly further front. Always a good idea to get the boar just closer to the front first if you can. Only exception maybe is if you want to get loom before, like a far boar, you might take that one second. So you can send a bill to the sheep, or you can send a bill to the berries first. Doesn't really matter too much. And you want to build a house with either this villager or the next one. I'm just going to do it with this one since I already thought about doing it then, so it doesn't really matter which one you do it with. And get the boar in at the right time. And I probably should have garrisoned that village, given that almost died. But usually you're alright with you shoot with all your bills. Just gotta watch out for that. So we've got 4 villagers on berries now. However, now 14 population, and that villager there just went on to boar. And then our 15th villager will usually get next boar. Since our boar is quite close in this game, I probably don't need to get quite so early. So I might just put this villager on boar. And I'll probably send a bill out now for it. And then the 16th villager is going to go build a lumber camp. We're a little short on wood at the moment, but that's because gotta keep in mind this villager is still working. By the time the villager is over here, we will have 100 wood for a lumber camp. It's quite good, we've got pretty good stragglers here. Sometimes if your stragglers are a bit further away, you might struggle a bit more for wood, and you'll have to... Usually this villager will have to have a... Just make sure I don't... This is push to the boar. You have to make sure that... Sorry, one of these villagers... The next from the villagers need to go on the wood as well. So every villager from 16 onwards goes to the wood line. So I'm trying to thought slightly about what I was talking about before. If you're slightly short on wood, you just have this villager together, so it gets like 10 wood, and then by the time it's on that, you should have enough to click up. If there's villagers can all fit around here. Yeah, cool, it can. We need a lot of villagers gathering this board in order to get food really fast. You can see we're getting pretty close to the pop cap. Of course, we're going to try click up without loom. You can try to do a house just in case you don't manage, although usually I'll just click loom if I fail this build. Should be, yeah, I've got plenty of food, nice. And then we're going to shift, might pause it here just to explain a bit more what I'm doing. We've got 4 villagers on this lumber camp because we had, from 16 population, we sent all our villagers here. So then we had 6, we had 9 villagers on this boar, and we had 1 on the straggler, 4 on berries. So we're going to shift a few more wood because we need to get our buildings up. So you should shift it so you have 5 villagers on this food here. So we're going to send 1 more villager onto this wood line. And in fact, I might do even, okay, 10, yeah, 10 vills on wood, that's basically what you want. Okay, I've only got 4 on hunt, actually, no, 5 on hunt, yeah, that's fine, yeah. That's what I was looking for. Okay, you need to shift these villagers onto a sheep soon. You need to build a villager. I tend to avoid taking the builder villager from wood, because then you might struggle a bit. I tend to take it from berries, but, I mean, you can use a sheep villager as well if you want to build stuff a bit closer to that. But we're going to get our house up, because obviously we're going to be pot capped otherwise, once we get up. The woodline's obviously going to be a little bit not the best, because we've got so many villagers on it, but you kind of have to live with that in order to do this build. I will get a bit more efficient later on, because once you chop out the initial trees, you get a bit more, your villagers are a bit closer, basically. Might want to micro this a bit as well, they do weird stuff. And as you can see, we wanted to get the barracks up before you're 60% feudal. And if you don't have that, you might have to send another villager to get the barracks up. Okay, so the advantage of doing this build, of course, is you get up pretty fast, you get more scouts out. But also, since we haven't done loom, we actually get a bit more resources from the feudal age transition. I think it's like 60 extra resources or something. So, just gives a smoother economy overall. I'm just going to send... Sorry, you should actually do loom there, but if you accidentally queue a villager like I just did, then you might as well just do it in the next villager, unless you really need to get it in fast. Since we went pretty fast up, I'm just going to do 1 villager on the stable. You can do more if you want to get scouts even faster out. So we make sure to click loom, and we can click that axe. And since we're Franks, we have horse collar for free. So you can see a Frank bonus of faster berries and horse collar for free coming in there. We kill that sheep a bit early. Then we can queue scouts. And of course, since we got our free horse collar, we can start doing farms pretty much straight away. Might as well start doing them pretty much as soon as you have the wood for them. Swinging that bow back to the berries. So we're getting some scouts out. And of course we've got the Frank scout bonus as well. It's got 54 HP. Obviously some other civs can do this build which don't quite have as many bonuses, but it can still be nice to get the fast scouts out.
Stone, please.
What's the next? 6 and 2 more. Okay, I'll just do a few more minutes for this. Okay, we get farms coming up, and then we queue more villagers to there. I'm about to get housed, I'm going to do a house. So I pretty much just add the villas on stragglers, and then until you get enough for farms, and you put them on farms. You can also just put the villagers out here. You can see I can house there slightly because I'm quite at the farm in time, the house in time. That's alright. So they should actually keep that villager there. I'm just gonna go up to 8 scouts. I might just turn the game speed up to fast, since this is basically just normal scout build kind of stuff from here. We need a house. I'm going to go on to gold in about 13 minutes, just because I'm not going to do a massive amount of scouts. I hope that scout's not going to attack me. I know sometimes AI does that. You could also do a second lumber camp at some point here if you want to. It will slow down your farms slightly, but it will be, for the long term, it will be slightly more efficient. So I think I'll make the next villager go to that. The berries ran out, so I just sent a couple of villagers to the wood line there, and made farms with a few of them once I got the resources for it. Mining camp there. I'm just going to go up to 8 scouts. It's kind of a typical amount to kind of show this build a bit. farm up there. So we've got 8 scouts. And that's like 14 minutes, 15 seconds. We had 8 scouts out, so that's definitely pretty deadly. And kept building farms, which are 16 farms. So 18 tends to be a reasonably good number to go to. I'm gonna get 5 bills on this gold, and then I'm gonna click wheelbarrow. That's generally about 3 to 5 on gold before wheelbarrow is generally what I tend to do. It's got 41 population, got 8 scouts. So how many villages is that? 33 villages. That's a pretty good time for wheelbarrow, to be honest. I usually find between 33 and 37 villages. I like to do wheelbarrow about that time. And also 16 farms is a good number to think about when you're wanting wheelbarrow as well. It generally is when you want to do it. Those are kind of the 2 guidelines I go by. We've got 18 farms, so that's well worth it to do it there. And I just realised we have not done our second building, so I'm going to get just a couple more villages to quickly get our blacksmith up. Because we definitely want that to go to the next stage. And of course we're getting more villages on gold because we'll need them for when we're making knights in the next stage. Okay, so we can castle 42 population just before the 17-minute mark. So that should be, what, like a 20-minute castle age, I think. Which is pretty nice after such a fast feudal. And I'll get another stable up. I might just keep those villas there, actually. Might as well do it with this one of those villages. And we can click the gold mining upgrade if we want. And of course we can do blacksmith upgrades. Armor's always good. I cooked up a bit faster than my other way sometimes do. Sometimes I might do a few more scouts, so I'm not going to do heaps of upgrades. I'm just going to do the armor. I don't think we can afford forging as well so quickly. I might even throw this villager on gold. Actually, we should be alright. You can see that since we started doing farms after we got horse color, a lot of these farms are going to be around for quite a bit longer. This farm would have been resetted already, expired already rather. If we didn't have horse color. So I'm getting nudged there. So just gonna call it once I get castle age. You can see what castle time it is. Look at our resources. We can do TCs pretty fast. And maybe we could have had the extra villager on gold. Might have been slightly better. I might just set a villager now, because he'll just help do the TC. And we could do like a TC there maybe. Queuing knights. And build a TC here. And our eco's looking really solid. Good X. Voice horse, sorry. And it really shows the Frank economy, how strong it is. Okay, so I'm just gonna call it there. We kind of can see what we can do from here. You just make villages from these TCs, get lots of knights, then you can add some more stables. Then after that just go to Imperial Age, and yeah, pretty normal stuff.